When it comes to US immigration, things can get really intense really fast. There's a super thin line between a mistake you can recover from and one that could sink your entire case. And for immediate family of US citizens, spouses, parents, honesty isn't just a good idea, it's everything. So today, we're gonna get right into it and figure out where that line is. Okay, so this right here, this is pretty much the golden rule for the whole immigration process. The thing is, authorities care more about your integrity than almost anything else. If you made a mistake in the past, but you're upfront about it, there's often a way forward. But a lie? Oh man, if they find out you lied, that's almost always a complete dead end. No going back. So the big question is, what's the difference? What makes one mistake forgivable and another a total deal breaker? That's exactly what we're going to break down here. We're going to look at what the experts say about which violations have a path to forgiveness and which ones will slam the door shut on your future in the US for good. All right, let's start with a really common one, something that causes a ton of stress for people: working without authorization. And yeah, it's a big deal, but here's the interesting part. For a very specific group of people, the law actually carves out a special path to get past it. So first things first, we need to be crystal clear on what unauthorized employment actually is. Because it's not just about getting a job at a US company. The rule is simple. If your feet are on US soil and you're doing any kind of work without a permit, that counts. I'm talking even if you're working remotely for a company back in your home country. If you're here, it's considered unauthorized. And this is where we see a huge critical difference in the law. If you're an immediate relative of a US citizen, things like unauthorized work or even overstaying your visa are automatically forgiven. That is a massive protection. But if you're a relative of a green card holder, nope, that protection just isn't there. You could be barred for doing the exact same thing. But, and this is super important, forgiven does not mean ignored or forgotten. It's still a violation and you absolutely have to disclose it on your application. Because the second you try to hide it, you've just turned a forgivable mistake into an unforgivable lie. This really gets to the heart of it. As the experts point out, there's one thing immigration can forgive, and that's the unauthorized work itself. But there's one thing they will not forgive, and that's misrepresentation. That's the lie. And lying about it, that changes everything. Yeah, think of it like this. The act itself, the working, that's a violation of your immigration status. But the lie, that's an act of deceit against the US government. One is a problem you can potentially fix. The other is seen as a direct attack on the entire system's integrity. And for that, you can get a permanent bar. It's a whole different level. Okay, so now let's talk about the other side of that line. We're heading into much more dangerous territory now. These are the kinds of violations that don't just cause problems, they completely sink your application. We're talking about the fatal errors, the ones with basically no chance of forgiveness. And just to be clear, we're not talking about small slip-ups or misunderstandings here. These are major violations of US law. They show a complete disregard for the rules, and if you commit one of these, well, it could mean you are never, ever able to immigrate to the United States. And look at how these aren't just immigration issues anymore. They're straight up federal crimes. Falsely claiming you're a US citizen on a work form. That's not just a little fib, that's a permanent bar. Using somebody else's social security number, that's identity theft. Handing over a tax return that you never actually filed with the IRS. That is textbook document fraud. And if you're thinking, well, how would they even find out? Trust me, they will. These federal agencies, they all talk to each other. Homeland Security is checking those I-9 forms. Immigration can pull your official tax records right from the IRS. And the officers in your interview, they are trained professionals whose entire job is to find the little inconsistencies between what's on paper and what you're telling them. So knowing all this, knowing the huge risks of lying, but also knowing that forgiveness is possible for some things, what's the right way to play this? The answer is strategy over deception. It's all about building your case on total transparency, not just crossing your fingers and hoping nobody notices. So here's the real challenge, right? How do you take something negative, like the fact that you worked without authorization, and talk about it in a way that actually makes the officer trust you more? The goal is to show them that you respect the law, even if you messed up in the past. Well, the best way to do it follows a pretty clear 4-step plan. Step 1, stop. The second you realize it's a violation, you stop doing it. Continuing to work while your case is in process is a massive red flag. Step 2, disclose. Be completely open about it on all your forms. 3, document. List every job you've had, even the unauthorized ones. And finally, 4, explain. Be ready to honestly tell the officer why it happened when you get to your interview. I mean, just put yourself in the immigration officer's chair for a second. You have 2 people in front of you. Applicant A says, yeah, I've worked without permission and I'm still doing it. Applicant B says, yes, I did that, but as soon as I realized it was wrong, I stopped immediately. Which one of those people are you going to trust? It's pretty obvious, right? It's the person who shows respect for the rules, even if they broke them before. And at the end of the day, that's the real goal here. Your application is just the paperwork, the facts. But the interview, that's when the officer is really looking at your character. When you're honest and you show that you fixed the problem, you start to build a good rapport. You make that officer feel comfortable, maybe even want to improve your case. So think about it like this. Your application is a test of the facts, sure, but your interview, that's a test of your character. So the question you have to ask yourself is, how are you going to pass?